Count with me now. 5, 4, 3.
They're out there, Mike.
2.
Where?
1.
Everywhere.
You know, if you were to tell me back in 2014 that this small little indie horror game would have not only one, but two full feature films, I would have thought you were crazy. But yet, here we are. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 drops this weekend in theaters, and fans of the game are sure to check this one out. And I'm here to talk about some of the things that I appreciated about it, some of the things that probably didn't work as well. This is going to be my non-spoiler review. First off, I just want to say, is this film better than the first one? In some areas, I will actually agree with that statement. The first film, as much as I liked what they were doing and what they attempted, it didn't seem as polished as it should have been. Somehow, the video games were way scarier than the first film ever was. And I think that was the one thing I really wanted them to improve on, is the intensity within the scenes of the film. I will happily say they did that with the second. When it comes to the scare factor of the sequel, it's been brought up a notch, which is good. I appreciated that. Now, we don't need to go straight to an R rating, but there are death scenes in here that are a little bit more graphic. Some of them are done off screen, totally fine. You're getting just how violent these animatronics are. The stakes have been raised in the sequel, which is great. There's more lore building here. There's more flashbacks. The story is expanded as it should have. Josh Hutcherson and Elizabeth Lail, they're great together. They have great chemistry. I appreciate what they're doing in here. I want them to have a little bit more to do in the film. The script just needs more depth for a few of these characters, and that's going to be one aspect of these films that can be improved on. Piper Rubio as Abby is wonderful, just as she was in the first one. The film focuses on her the most, and I think she delivers in everything she's meant to do. Her character, Abby, goes through an emotional roller coaster throughout this film for a variety of reasons, and everything she's asked to do, she delivers. Vanessa's character in this film probably has the second biggest arc of any of the other characters, and I actually really like what they did. Despite the fact that William Afton, something happens to him at the end of the first film. You haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but he's really not meant to be a huge menace in this film, and so, that being said, they found other ways to still make him terrifying. The most tense moments in this movie is sort of when the presence of William Afton is still haunting these characters. So when it comes to scare factor, it's done really well. They upped it a notch, and I appreciated that. When it comes to some of the characters and their emotional arcs, those things are done really well. Fantastic. The areas where this film probably still needs to improve is its pacing. Its pacing is still not completely there. I'm not throwing any shade at Scott Cawthon, but I would really love to hear is that he takes his script and he actually gives it to someone who has a lot of experience writing thrillers and having them give it a once-over. There's something about overall tension of the movie that doesn't feel like we are amping it up enough. Overall, it kind of feels slightly messy, a bit incoherent. It's not a complete deal breaker, but you just want to feel like you are fully aware of what's happening, and sometimes you're getting lost in the narrative for why they've chose to do something. As an example, there's one moment towards the end of the movie, I'm not going to mention now, but two characters run into each other, and then one character takes off, and you're wondering, well, why did they run into each other to begin with? It didn't really matter. It didn't really add anything to the story. It's either small decisions like that or just need to sort of edit the rest of the film in a way that really allows us to get invested in what's happening. When it comes to the animatronics, the toy versions of them, they look absolutely fantastic. It's not really a spoiler, it's in the trailers, but the marionette plays an integral part to this film. And when it comes to the marionette, I'm all for it because Marionette was absolutely one of the most terrifying characters in the video games. What I would love to see is a Fnaf film written with the help of somebody who might understand the pacing and the build-up that needs to happen, the pacing and the build-up that should happen in a thriller such as this one. It just feels that we're sort of missing a huge integral part that makes a story into a movie. Skeet Ulrich is in this movie. It was great seeing him on the big screen again. I'm glad that he actually got to join into a franchise again with Matthew Lillard. Skeet doesn't have a lot to do in this film, but his character is actually one that fans of the game will probably guess. And surprisingly, Wayne Knight is in this movie. I didn't know he was in it until I saw his name in the opening credits. Fans of the game will absolutely appreciate everything that's being thrown into this movie, and sometimes it does feel like things are thrown into this movie. It's really funny to watch this film with people who aren't familiar with the games, because even small game mechanics are shown in this movie. And so when something like that happens and it kind of seems unorthodox or like really out there, out of left field, you see those folks and they're like, what's happening right now? And there's a lot of confusion on their face. It's really hard to tell someone like, it's part of the game. It's something you would have to do in the game in order to survive or something. And so when they show that in the movie and they're not aware of it, I can understand where those folks are going to have a hard time. That being said, I am glad that this film and the first film are made by Scott, and they're made for the fans. It would be great though if there was a way to allow the general audience to get a little bit more invested in the story and exactly what's happening. That is a difficult challenge. We're dealing with possessed animatronics to begin with. And so that's already a stretch for the general audience. But if you kind of walk them along the way and help them out, then they might have an easier time getting through these things. All I'm trying to say is there are some moments in this film where folks not familiar with the game aren't going to have any idea why certain characters are doing certain things. I liked the movie. I appreciated all that they did. I appreciated how great the animatronics look and the special effects. They all moved like you expect them to. They all sounded like you wanted them to. The death scenes and the horror aspect was thrown up a notch. If I had to rate this film, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. And I hope you check it out this weekend. And in celebration of the movie's release this weekend, we are giving out a handful of these absolutely gorgeous Fnaf prints. These are done by comic book artist Gilbert Perez, who's a huge fan of the franchise. To enter to win, all you got to do is follow us on social media and tag your biggest Fnaf friend in the comments, and we're going to choose a handful of winners to win this beautiful print. That will do it for me. Also, a bunch of our followers got to attend this advanced screening with us. If you want to attend a future advanced screening with us, all you got to do is be sure to follow us on social media, turn on the notification bell. That way, the next time an advanced screening drops, you will be the first to be notified on how to win passes. I'm Ted, aka Steady with the Countdown City Geeks. We'll see you next time.
Showtime!